lower courts, federal courts, that the administration should have been moving this funding as well. There's no question that this administration should not have been moving forward and should not have allowed the funding to lapse. Now, President Trump made a deliberate choice to leave families hungry, to leave families without food. His choice. The courts were absolutely clear that this legal authority existed. Even the Secretary of the United States Department of Agriculture, weeks before the program was put on hold, had the justification and had the plan on the website, which magically disappeared and was pulled down when the cruelty was set to begin. What President Trump did was fight to keep food away from families who are already struggling, creating more chaos, more confusion, which has been what we've been seeing day in and day out. Now, in July, congressional Republicans passed something called the Big Beautiful Bill, I think is what they called the thing, right? Folks back home have been calling this thing a betrayal. But since President Trump came to Capitol Hill to try to convince Republicans that they needed to rebrand the Big Beautiful Bill because it's so unpopular across America, we should just keep calling it the Big Beautiful Bill because the American people think it's disgusting. Now, as it pertains to SNAP and why we're here today, the Congressional Budget Office estimates are about $187 billion is what Republicans cut from food programs. $187 billion in food assistance over the next decade, at a time when costs are rising for families across the country. Everything, as we know, is getting more and more expensive. And that's quite honestly why we're here today. For half a century, our nation has upheld a bipartisan promise to ensure that no child, no senior, no veteran, no working family should go hungry in the United States of America. Republicans broke that promise, and today congressional Democrats are fighting to restore this program. I want to recognize the leadership from so many of our colleagues. Senator Merkley, who is here with us today, Representative Hayes, Representative Craig, who's a ranking member of the Agriculture Committee, and of course, Leader Schumer, and Senator Klobuchar, the ranking member of the Senate Ag Committee. We are introducing legislation that restores food security for American families and farmers, to fully repeal the Republican cuts to SNAP, restore food security for millions of Americans. SNAP puts food on the table for 42 million people across the country. They're not strangers. These are friends that we all know, coworkers, people that we might go to church with or go to a ball game with, kids that you know. If you have children who are in school, they might play with your kids. Your kids probably play with them. This is an American issue. There are people across the country who you probably stand in line with when you're checking out at a grocery store. Everyday folks. Right now, they face the real possibility of going hungry because of the choices made by President Trump and congressional Republicans. Now, this year, many of us have visited food banks and met with families, farmers, ranchers, all across our states, and for me, all across New Mexico. They told me how essential SNAP is to caring for their children, getting through the week, or just keeping their businesses open. When SNAP is cut, real people suffer. Our constituents suffer. These families are doing everything they can. They're working hard. They're raising children. They're caring for loved ones. They're just trying to build a better life. They deserve a government that helps them put food on the table, not one that takes food away. My Republican colleagues have chosen to let their constituents go hungry. My legislation will stop that. We must ensure that no child, no senior, no veteran, and no hardworking family is denied the basic dignity of a meal. I want to recognize my colleague from Oregon who has been steadfast on providing clarity to the negative impact to the American people coming from this administration and from ugly legislation like the Big Beautiful Bill. Senator Merkley, United States Senator of Oregon.